Yeah, so you go upstairs and you get checked in. Anyways, fast forward. So, um I'm gonna insert some clips, but the first clip that you're gonna see is me just, being checked in and getting the IV fluids, and they just asking me a bunch of questions, any bleeding, spotting, stuff like that. Normal questions that they ask you. Um, I was induced, so um, mine might look a little different, but trust me, birth starts all the same, if that makes sense. Like, if you have the right provider, it starts all the same. Like, you start off with low grade contractions that aren't really too close together, but they come um like regular. They're not stopping, okay? But they're not too close together when they first start out. They might be anywhere from 15 minutes to, it could be 30 minutes out. But they come every 30 minutes, and then they come every 15 minutes, and so on and so forth. So, at first, my contractions have been sporadic. Like, I had, that's another reason why I was induced. I was induced with possible preeclampsia, but they also wanted to induce me because I had been having contractions since about 8 months. I was 8 months pregnant when I started getting early labor contractions, but luckily they were just very strong Braxton Hicks because they wasn't doing anything to progress labor. So anyway, I have been coming in there, so they were used to me having the sporadic contractions. So they went ahead and gave me my fluids. They gave me my what do you call it? It's not called Pitocin. It's the gel that they put inside of you. They went ahead and gave me that first, just so it can soften my cervix, and then they were going to give me the Pitocin. I really opted out for the Pitocin. That's another thing I want to mention. Um, if you are scared of the Pitocin, there's other ways that they can make your labor start. Um, they can, you know, like I said, put the, it's called Silverdale or Silvertrail or something like that. And what they do is they put a balloon, they fill it with water, they put it inside your cervix, just like you would put anything else in your cervix. They put it inside your cervix, and what it does is it softens your cervix. And when you soften your cervix, you tend to dilate. So, with that, that's starting your labor. So, once your cervix softens and it gets to a certain dilation, I think it's like 5 or 6, it falls out by itself. So, my cervix took about, I would say, about 2 or 3 hours to soften to like 3 centimeters, and that's when my contractions had officially got to the point where I was in labor, early labor. Um, but yeah, 1 and 2, I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel any change. I didn't feel like I was, you have, to me, it's all mindset thing. You have to think like this is not really that bad. Um, I'm gonna tell you now, the worst part of induction is your own self. It really is. The worst part of induction is your own self. So they gave me the medicine to put inside. After an hour, you're supposed to start feeling it. If you believe in your head, in an hour, I'm going to be in pain, I'm going to be uncomfortable, because this is literally what happened to me in the hospital. I started to believe that in an hour I was going to feel uncomfortable. And what happened? I started feeling uncomfortable. And it wasn't uncomfortable as in this must be labor. It was uncomfortable as in I just felt like sharp twigs and stuff like that. I felt it because I believed. Once I stopped thinking about it, I didn't feel anything until I hit 3 centimeters. So my tip would be, don't think of it as, oh, in an hour I'm gonna start feeling it. Think of it as, okay, I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna focus on something else, whether it be watch a movie, listen to music, talk to your husband or your partner or whoever's there with you. Whether it be reading a book, whatever you choose to do within that hour. Talk on the phone. Do not think about that hour. Okay. Another tip I have is go to the bathroom. You do not have to. You see all these videos about all these women getting up and they say walk around, and I'm telling you now, that's going to put you in more. Plus, on top of that, if you choose to get the Ceridel, they do not want you to move for that hour. So that's another thing that would really irritate you. You start to think like, oh my gosh, find something else to do. Okay? You're still allowed to get up and use the bathroom. So that would be my tip to you. Because I soon found out the more you go to the bathroom in labor, the more your labor progresses. I didn't know that, but I found that out. The more you go to the bathroom, I know them contractions hurt once you finish using the bathroom, but the more you go to the bathroom, the more your labor progresses, the faster it goes. Don't ask me what the logic is behind that. I think they said because you empty your bladder, that puts your baby closer to your cervix. And so the more you empty it, the closer your baby get. And that's what you want. You want it to get all the way to 10. So the closer your baby gets, the faster your labor goes. So empty that bladder. Don't hold that pee-pee. I even had to, yeah, that's normal too. Now, the only tip I would have for women who feels like they have to, because guess what? They're all very natural. Okay? So if you have to go. Do not hold it because it's not coming out of the same place. So why are you holding it? This baby is finna be covered in fluids. Okay? I'm talking all kinds of fluids. Because I just found out you also, number one, while you're in labor. Yeah, that can happen too. So empty that bladder. Okay? You don't want to go while you in labor, empty it out. Okay? At least wipe yourself. And that way you don't have to worry. If it's empty, there's nothing there. Okay? So, and then, like I said, you will know if you have to or if the baby is coming by simply trusting your body. So if you feel something in the back and you know when you start to feel something, okay, in the back, I'm talking. What I used to do just to ensure that it wasn't in the front is I would scoop all the way up And if I felt some pressure up here in your stomach area, okay, that means it's not that. Mm-hmm. Get back to bed. But if you feel it in the back, I'm talking in the back, you know what I'm talking about, then go ahead. Don't be scared. You're not going to push out anything earlier than it's supposed to come out. Okay? Because you got to think about it. Your baby's up here. All right? And as labor progresses, your baby goes further down. But it's still real high. Okay? So if you push, you see that? Now say your baby has to get here, where my chin is at. But your baby is right here. And then you're pushing. Okay? You're pushing. See how it's not going to my chin? Same thing. All right. Now, if your baby is right here and you feel like you got, girl, go sit down. Go to that bed. Go to that bed. Call that nurse. Cause no, baby, you push that baby go boop right out. All right. But if your baby's up here, like you just got checked and you found out, cause I'm telling you what I've done. All right. This is my birth story. This is what happened that day on August 14th, 2024. I had to go number 2. I went number 2. I was nervous. I was scared. And it also makes you less able to go. When you're nervous and you're scared, relax. Okay? So I had to go number 2. Eventually, I had to go to the bathroom like 2 or 3 times because I was nervous. My nurse kept telling me, that's another thing. Tell your nurse that you want to trust your body. Okay? I want to trust my body. Now, like I said, that does not mean if the doctor just told you, hey, you're 8 centimeters, and then you get up to go to the bathroom just to, do a little pee-pee, and you start feeling pressure that you should push because I feel like I gotta boo. No. I'm saying if you're 6 centimeters and you feel like you gotta boo, baby, go boo. Because 9 times out of 10, you gotta boo. Okay? And relax. Relax that muscle in the back. I'm not talking about the muscle in front. The muscle in the back. But if you're pushing in the front, you're going to strain yourself. So, like I said, relax that muscle in the back. Okay? And also, your body will glide it out. You will feel like you didn't even have to do anything. Once you relax. All right. So, that's that tip. Another tip that I have is they tell you don't drink no water. Hydrate yourself. If you're allowed to have clear fluids in labor, hydrate yourself because you got to think about it. You're running a marathon, okay? Literally in bed. You're running a marathon, or whether you're walking around the room. I'm not telling, do whatever works for you. That's another thing. Do whatever works. If sitting in the bed works for you, I'm so glad I had the birth experience I had because my nurse said, do whatever works for you. She didn't come in there. She didn't say, hey, you should really get out of bed. You should walk around, really get your labor progressing. She said, do whatever works for you. So, the only thing is she wanted me to rotate the baby because it would have made the labor a lot less painful when it came down to pushing, and I would have tore less. I'll get to that later. But she didn't come in there. She didn't say, hey, you should get up. You should move around. You should walk around. You should walk the hallways. It was whatever worked for me. Are you comfortable? Do you need something? Do you want me to show you something that's other pain management? Do you still want your epidural? Having a birthing hospital that supports your needs is very important, not only for your birth experience, but for your mental stability. Because what you're going to go through is going to be mentally straining, it's going to be physically straining, and it's going to be emotional. Okay, whether you like it or not, it's going to be emotional. And to have a great hospital that you could express what you need, when you need it, how you want to do things, is very important. Okay, so that's my advice. If laying in the bed works for you, lay in the bed. Lay in the bed. Out of the 6 kids I done walked around the hospital. I done walked up hills. I done walked from one end of a hospital to another end of a hospital, literally. And the hospital, is as big as any other university hospital. So do whatever works for you. And to tell you the truth, I'd rather have it where I didn't walk from one end of a hospital to another end of a hospital. Because when I finally got into active labor, I was exhausted. Okay, so do what works for you. Some women might not be exhausted. Some women might be pumped. I've seen women sit up there and did jumping jacks. Okay, literally, to get themselves pumped and ready for this strenuous long haul, because they don't tell you the long haul is within active labor. Okay, it's not the pushing, it's not the afterbirth, it's the active labor that you have to get through. So, anyways, after I got my citadel and I dilated to 6 centimeters and I vacated my bowels, I had to go and get my water popped. If you have to get there, because some women don't progress. I've never had this happen, but it happened. I just didn't progress. She was like, all right, I got to 6. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. My hamburger. So I had to have my water broken. I knew once my water broke, I was going to be in it to win it, okay? So what I would say is, if you have to get your water broken, it sounds very scary. It's not. I'm telling you, when you're at 6 centimeters, you might as well say your thing is open, all right? So there's no speculum. They don't need no speculum. They don't need no real big light or anything like that. It's literally just feeling for where your bag is at, because your baby's right here. Your bag is like on the side of your baby. And your bag is just simply the fluid that's around the baby. That's literally all it is. It's the fluid that's around the baby. So if the baby's head is here, right? Your fluid that's around your baby will be a pool right here. Like somewhere in here or somewhere on this side. It'll be a pool. So what they do is they break that pool so that the baby's head will position and it'll start descending. Okay? My labor progressed so freaking fast. And if you're a fast labor, just know when you break your water that, yes, be prepared. Talk to your doctor. Like I said, having a hospital that's very supportive, meant a lot to me. So I would say, I didn't have to go on any of those tours because I pretty much, knew my doctors were from good clinics and stuff like that. But if don't know who your doctor is going to be, or who your doctors, what clinics they're coming out of, I would say just go for the tour. Go for the tour. Talk to your provider that is in the clinic with you. Ask them, like, do you know, you know, um, any of the staff that's, at the hospital? It doesn't have to be, an induction. You could just ask them, who are the staff that comes in sometimes for the night shift or for the day shift. If you go on the tour, they most of the time they tell you, like, oh, doctor such and such runs this side, doctor such and such runs that side in the daytime, in the nighttime, doctor such and such, doctor such. Because it's usually one doctor to half a hallway. Yeah, I know a lot. And if it's a university hospital, you have multiple doctors, simply because they have a lot of intern doctors, nurse practitioners, a lot of doctors to teach, because it's a teaching hospital. So I happen to be in a teaching hospital, which I've never had a problem in a university hospital. I know a lot of people said they have a lot of bad experiences in teaching hospitals, but I've never had a problem in a teaching hospital. I've had problems in regular hospitals. Where what I mean is like non-teaching hospitals, and yeah. So that would be my only opinion. And if you can get your regular OB, I would. Yeah, that would be my only tip on that. I would, because it helps to know, like, this person that is going to be in charge of your life, because your life is on the line. When you're in labor, your life is on the line. From the time that first active labor contraction starts, it's now your life that's on the line. I'm sorry to be so blunt and so, like, serious about it, but it's for real. Your life is on the line. But yeah, so I had my Citadel, and then they popped my water. Like I said, deep breaths. You'll know what I'm talking about when they insert the instrument to pop your water. It's just a long needle. Just breathe. Think of it as literally as somebody, a number one. Okay? Just breathe. It's really irritating. Okay? Now, women, if y'all want to know what the pain feels like, if I had to describe it, I would describe it as if you ever had to, like, had a UTI and you had to use the bathroom. That's literally what it feels like. It doesn't feel that painful, but that's all I can describe it as. It's a little bit of a burning sensation, a stinging, and then it's gone. Like, that's it. I had to be quiet. So after my water broke, now we're in the trenches, right? So I had to, like, say some mantra to get through the rest of labor. And I would say that to you. Come up with a mantra. Come up with, if you want to get a stress ball, get you a stress ball. Squeeze it. Don't squeeze your husband's hand. Do not do that. But if you want to get a stress ball, or if you want to, I'm sorry, she woke up to breastfeed. If you want to get a stress ball, or if you want to listen to music, if you just, literally my words were, oh shit, okay? If you just want to say, or oh, okay, do it. Do it, because the goal is to make it out alive. That is the goal. The goal is for you and that baby to make it out alive. So whatever calms you down, if cursing your husband calms you down, if yelling calms you down, do it. And I want to make this clear. Do not have nurses that tell you, oh, you're being too loud, or, oh, can you calm down, or, oh, can you please tone it down, or you're disruptive, or you're too dramatic. Get the nurse or the doctor out of there. Request you another doctor, because this is your life. This is your baby's life. This is your birth story. Out of the 6 kids, I've only had one extremely positive birth story, and that was this one. And that is sad. And I had nurses and I had doctors that were like, whatever you need to do, whatever you need from us, we're here. Okay? Also, do not feel like you have to wait on that doctor. Do not feel like you have to wait on the nurse. Do not feel like you have to wait on your husband who went to go smoke a cigarette. Get that baby out of there. Because the faster you get that baby out of there, the faster you and that baby can grow. And y'all can be healthy, and y'all can, go home. Because so many women are not. Also, do not let doctors intervene unless you want them to. Okay? I've had doctors come up and put their hands in places. I've had doctors come up and try to tell me, hey, I need to do this, I need to do that. No. I had doctors tell me that I need Pitocin, and I tell them, advocate for yourself. No, I do not want that right now. I think if we wait until this time, I think if we wait until that time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't take. Hold on. So don't have doctors tell you that, oh, you have to have this, or you have to have that. No. If it's medically necessary, that's what I told my doctor this last pregnancy. I said, if it's medically necessary, there's no other way, then, I will get Pitocin, or I will go for the C-section, or I will go do anything else. But if it's not medically necessary right now, I would like to postpone XYZ. So that's another thing. But the goal is to get baby out safely. The reason why the goal is to get baby out safely is because then that makes them focus on 2 separate people, rather than focusing on one and trying to save both lives. That's why they say it's very important to get baby out safely. So my tips are, if you want the epidural, go ahead and, see if you can take the pain up to 6 centimeters. If you cannot take the pain at 6 centimeters, I would not go any further. Okay? Also, if there's anything that's not medically necessary, as I just said, you can always postpone it. Okay? Um, Another thing, do what makes you feel good. If it's laying in the bed, if it's watching a movie, if it's laughing on the phone, do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Okay? Because I know a lot of people have home births because they feel comfortable. But you can feel comfortable at the hospital. You got to remember you're paying for it, not them. Um, Number whatever it is that I'm on. Another thing, do at the end what you have to do to get through that last part, because the last part is the most strenuous. Okay? After that, advocate for yourself. Advocation is very important. Advocate for your child. Okay? Trust your instincts. These are all my tips. So, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I went in, I did the Cetaphil, they popped my water, I had the baby 1 hour later. Okay. Um, and then she was born at 6 pounds 4 ounces. I had a wonderful nurse. You will get hot. You will get nauseous sometimes. Learn different pain managements. You don't have to go for the epidural. They have the nitrous oxide. They have breathing techniques. They have back massages. They have different positions in the bed. They have different positions standing up. They have counter pressure. There's so many other pain meds free options that you can get. They also have pain medication that you can get that will not do anything to the baby. And you will still be able to walk around like you normally do and all those things. So, those are the options that I have for a pain free, positive birth story experience. Those are my tips and tricks. If you like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.